Hi, and welcome to 3 Things in 3 Minutes. I'm Nersi. Today we are looking at Call to Adventure from Brotherwise games. It mainly plays 2 to 4 players with solo and cooperative variants, and it plays in 30 to 60 minutes. What it's about: this is a fantasy-themed game that mixes elements of storytelling, set collection, and a unique form of die rolling. You're creating a fantasy character, and in each of 3 acts you will collect 3 cards that will add traits to your character and tell the exploits from your origins to your final fate. Now, you most often acquire cards by testing out your various skills, which you do by tossing handfuls of runes which function as 2-sided dice. At the end of the game, everyone scores points from their cards, their gained experience tokens, and collecting cards with a matching set of story icons. Things I like. One of the most unusual aspects of this game is the runes, which you really need to shake up hard in your hands to toss. Now, some people may not prefer them over simple dice, but given the game's theme, the idea of casting runes fits in really well, and it's clever. And while in much of the game you'll be looking for cards that will give you traits or story icons that you need to get more points, they're actually thematically designed so that in the end they will often give you an interesting story arc. And if you enjoy the storytelling aspects of the game, you'll be interested in the narrative of what happens to your character. Now, the game also does manage to stay simple because you can really only access 4 or 5 cards in the row that correspond to your act, so you aren't overwhelmed with options. However, the cards can get increasingly complex in the later acts, and so the game does a nice job of easing you into them. I also appreciate that the game has some variants included in the box, including cooperative play and an ally and adversary cards that you'll probably want to add in pretty soon. Points to consider. As with other storytelling games, a lot of the fun comes from whether you and your friends will enjoy telling the story of your character at the end of the game. Now, otherwise, if you treat it as just a simple set collection game, it can feel fairly generic and uninspired because you're just trying to collect matching icons. The runes also do take a bit of getting used to in order to cast effectively, and the coloring of some of them can actually make it hard to tell different types of runes apart and sort them after every toss. The game also does have a race to it because at the end of the game, is triggered once someone has completed all 3 acts. So if you fail to get a card because it's risky for you to get, even with the dark runes that you can use in order to increase your chances, you can fall behind, and so you may end up going for the easy cards because in the end the number of cards in your tableau has the biggest effect on your score. And this can get magnified if the cards available that you try to acquire are not helpful to you. Now, you can spend experience points to refresh the draw, but each of those is otherwise worth 1 point at the end of the game, so you may just be unlucky in finding a card that fits while someone else finds some nice synergy by chance. So in summary, it is a set collection game that primarily shines in its storytelling and the narrative arc it creates. It has a clever rune casting alternative to dice, although other aspects of the game can be very dependent on luck. And the gameplay is simple and ramps up, but it does require working hard to not fall behind since it's hard to recover. Thanks so much for watching. Please make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel.